Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watcher Realms. Guys, today we'll be checking out Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. And since my original review of this guy, things have very much so changed. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so here we are with the Lord of the Flies. Gotta be in the top 5 most ugliest things in this game. With the weird wings and the flies around him all over the place, the multiple arms and whatever he's holding in front of him with his inner arms and goat-like face. He's just this mutated looking thing. I don't even know what's actually going on here. But anyways, he looks alright. He looks alright. He's got a nice spell book with him and everything. But anyways, he's in the cultist faction. And the cultist faction specializes in crowd control and a good amount of magic damage. That's really what we're looking at with the cultist faction. We have Demi, we have Morgan, and then we have Ezerith that are options for you to be using. A few things to note is that most of the units or allies on this faction, they need that crowd control to really amp up the damage, okay? So with Beelzebub, he's going to be bringing a lot of other unique things as well, including slows and crowd control, immobilizing effects, whatever is all going to be in there. But he also has inspiration, and he also brings a little bit of damage. And he has a unique ability as well to be able to, if you look at his artifact, I don't have it on the screen right now, but he has an artifact that his exclusive artifact shows that if the flies are attacking enemy units, that he is able to guarantee crit hits from himself. His damage is not that amazing. He's more of a utility hero. For that reason, I usually suggest building him out as a utility hero instead of going for the damage builds. But anyways, he is a mage. He does magic damage. Ally buff, of course, and he has summons as well. These summons are going to be those putrid flies, right? On the talent, the heroes and putrid flies, damage dealt inflicts slow on targets. So there's your crowd control. That's going to give you that boost. And for your allies on the cultist faction. When the hero is in a cultist team and launches basic attack or casts Plague of Ruin, it's going to be his ultimate, I believe. Nope, it's going to be a passive. We'll check it out in a minute. Restores HP equal to 50% of the hero's attack to one cultist ally in attack range. So him being in his own faction and then him having faction allies with him, definitely going to have a benefit versus the other allies that are on the team. Now if we go into the basic attack here, AoE magic attack. 100% AoE damage to 5 enemy targets, and that's basically what's happening there. But he also has a chance from his talent as well, restore HP, and his basic does a lot more than that as well. So let's keep going on to the first passive, Plague of Ruin. During the ultimate, the hero and the putrid flies release Plague of Ruin one time every 5 seconds, dealing 150% AoE damage to up to 8 targets and inflicting vulnerability to magic damage on them. So the target's going to go up by 2 more targets, so go up to 10 targets, perfect for Gear Raid 1. Also going to be perfect for the Zerberus boss, but the vulnerability is going to be magic damage taken by 10%. If you go to the Awakened level 1, that goes up to 20%. And I'm going to bring out these putrid flies as well. Inherits 100% of the hero's attributes, roam within the hero's basic attack range, and deal 100% damage to 5 enemies with basic attack. And that basic attack range is insane. So if I go over here quickly, you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles ahead of them, one to the left and one to the right, straight line, straight shot. It's a huge range, so those flies get to roam around that whole area. All right, next passive is going to be Darkness Rising, and during the ultimate applies 35% inspiration to allies in the hero's skill range. That's going to go up to 40, 45, 50%. Reduces the attack interval of allied summons adjacent to the putrid flies by 25%. It's going to also go up to 30%. So we're talking about the ally summons, right? So you could be talking about, you know, Beatrix's little orbs that she casts out, anything that's going out there, any kind of summon that is out there, it's going to reduce the attack interval. So you look at Honora, there's plenty of heroes that have summons that is going to be part of the summon meta. And Beelzebub's ultimate is going to be Corrupted Swarm. Costs 1,000, that's going to go down to 900. We have 700 on Rage deployed. 16 seconds is going to go up to 18, 20, 22 second ultimate duration. During the ultimate applies AoE damage reduction. So they're going to have 30% less damage. kind of like Furcy in a way. 2 cultist allies within the skill range and summons putrid flies. Putrid flies generate a powerful vortex that pulls up to 10 enemies toward its center with 2 times strength and inflicts slow on them. The vortex lasts for 5 seconds. You can see this in the little screen up here. Basically, he is just kind of like, he pulls them around. It's just like this little vortex that pulls them in. It works really well in guild versus guild. It's going to work really well in gear raid 1 and anywhere where you need to stop enemies from moving and you want to control where they're at. So the corrupted swarm with that vortex is amazing. It's phenomenal skill to be using. Now on to the hero details. I want to look at the stats a little bit, and actually I'm going to pull up prospector.gg and pull up the hero guide here, so I can scroll down and check out the attributes versus the others. You can see we have health at 9284, attack is at 2307. That's about a quarter, I guess, yeah, it's about a quarter to a third of the highest in that class. But you gotta remember, this is a inspiration unit and it has a 50% inspiration, so they can't boost up the attack too high, but that's why he doesn't do a lot of damage. Defense is at 597, that's pretty low even for the class. Magic resistance is at 2820, very high. Cost is 10 out of 29, very good. Block is 1 out of 1. Redeployment time is 60. That's normal. Attack interval is a 2 out of 5, so a 2-second attack interval. Attack speed is 100, crit rate 0, crit damage 150, healing effect 0. Rage regen sitting at 14 out of 19 here. So for that class, it's not a really high rage regen, but somebody's really jacking that up because not many heroes get that high. Rage regen basic attack is sitting at 10 out of 11, and rage regen when he's attacked is at 6 out of 6. So he's kind of setting the bar on the attacked. Now you can see if you go over to overall that these stats are not very good, right? So health is pretty low, attack is pretty low, but you're comparing these things to heroes that are built to specialize in these stats. So if you want to check this out yourself, you can see all the stuff on here. You have all of the skills, you have all of the awakenings, we have the battle power on here. BP is actually really good. That's something else I should probably call out. Awaken 5 BPs at 126k, that's pretty respectable. And then we have 115k at Awaken 0 with a really good build. And we also have the ratings here, so this is something else I wanted to go on. So guild stages, Drake's Chasm. We're talking about Guild Boss 1, Nightmare 3, Nightmare 4. The reason he's so good here is because he has that far range and he can cover a lot of units with inspiration. Everything else is not really most benefit. It's just about the inspiration there. Similar with the Titanic Ruins, although it's not quite as effective. Serene Grimscale, give him a 2. The Cultist faction doesn't really belong in there, and it just doesn't really work out very well. So it just doesn't fly with the fly with the certain or current meta on those teams. GVG as a 4.5 out of 5, could consider it a 5. But yes, that massive crowd control, inspiration, and healing for the Cultist faction is bar none. Other stages, Faction Trials, great. Void Rift, great. Tide, great. Arena. Now, for a while, he was kind of controlling the arena, and it's really hard to rate heroes in the arena because the meta shifts. So we could have a hero like Beelzebub being a 5-star in one of these, or like AoE DPS or something, and then quickly it can just change when a new hero comes out and blows them up right at the spawn point, and then, you know, Beelzebub has no use. So yeah, I just give him a 3. He could probably be considered a 4 depending on where you are at in the game. If you're in the earlier game, he's probably up on the 4 range. Immortal Codex, though, Arbiter of Frost sticks up pretty well because of that range. He's doing magic damage and obviously works out well with the Cultist faction, so he gets like a 3.5. Wasteland Titan, not really. Lord of Styx, not really. Fierce Torrent is not really. Phantasmal Nightmare, absolutely 4 to 5 star. I have it rated here as a 4 because it's not really necessary anymore, but yeah, it's very good there anyways. But Hellfire Emperor Conqueror is all 0s. Gear Raid 1, 4 star I have on here. I would say it's more of a 4.5 roughly. Actually, you could probably say it's a 5-star. Honestly, you could probably sit there and 5 star or something I should probably change. Gear Raid 2, kind of similar story. Can 3.5 to a 4-star would be good. Gear Raid 3 though, 4 stars solid. Gear Raid or Gear Dungeon 1 and 2, I do have them at a 3-star because the meta teams are a little easier to work with. You can use them, but it's not really that necessary. All right, back to the game to look over the awakening, shall we? Over here. Okay, Let me move myself over. Awaken level 1, the vulnerability to magic damage inflicted by Plague of Ruin increases to 20%. So there, that Awaken level 1 is. That's going to give you the 20% magic vulnerability to the units that the flies are hitting. So it's very important and massive, and that's what makes him so good in that AoE content with the Cultist faction, is with Gear Raid 1. Getting that magic vulnerability down increases your damage, obviously. It's like less of a threshold that you have to cross. By the way, I never noticed this like fly thing up top here in the Awakening. It's very cool. Awakening level 2 is attack plus 300. It's base attack boost. This is going to be massive. It sounds little, but you got like a small attack range. You have an inspiration unit. And then we're sitting here looking at a base attack increase of 300. So this is going to be better than having like a 5 to 10% attack increase on the base. So the plus 300 attack is going to be that plus all the multipliers that you put on with gear. So it does add up. Awaken level 3, when basic attack deals damage to the target, restores 2% rage. This helps keeps the inspiration up higher. This helps keeps the ultimate going much more often. There's not really much more to say about it. Is it necessary? Not really. I would say the A1 is going to be one of the most powerful. I would say the A3 is probably number 2. Awaken level 4 is cost -2, so it's even down further. Awaken level 5 is that the target receives 2 instances of Plague of Ruin within 3 seconds. They will take 1 additional instance of true damage equal to 100% of the hero's attack. Just a little extra added damage, and that's why I don't put a lot of importance on the Awaken 5, and that's just because Beelzebub doesn't really kick out a ton of damage. You can build them that way, but it's not really necessary. Alright, let's head over to the hero section. We will find our Bubba, as everybody likes to call him, or Beelzebub. It's Beelzebub, but Beelzebub, people like to call him. So one of the reasons people do suggest building with like a Soulbound Arcana Warlord set is because the ability to guarantee crits when using that artifact. So if Carrion's Call is something that I want to go and look over right now. Okay, so increases attack by 30%. This already equals out with the Tear of Twilight. So the Tear of Twilight is going to have the attack increase of 30%. And when the HP is lower than 80%, the attack increase is reduced to 15%. So they loses half of his HP goes down, and the Carrion's Call just stays at 30%. And we want that attack. Beelzebub guarantees a crit hit on enemies damaged by putrid flies within 5 seconds and deals 30% increased damage on top of it. So if you have the Carrion's Call, you can get a ton of damage out of Beelzebub. I shouldn't say a ton of damage. What I mean by that is like a ton more damage. So he becomes a little more viable as a unit for doing damage. On to the gear sets, you can go with a Soulbound Arcana set if you want to go for damage. Otherwise, you're going to want to go for like a Wings of Great set or an Invigoration set. It's going to be your best call. If you're a little lower level than that, you can go with an Asclepius to just try to keep the HP up a little bit, but still focus on attack percentage on all 3 pieces. On the left side, you're going to be focusing on things like Warlord and Calamity instead of Wicked Vengeance. The reason is that attack plus 25% that comes in from those sets. The attack speed is nice, true. The crit damage from Wicked Vengeance is nice, true. But we are trying to support our allies. We're not trying to do a ton of damage. The number 1 priority with Beelzebub is to support your allies. Second priority is going to be whatever damage you get out of it after that. But because he has that Carrion's Call, and we can guarantee crit hits on enemies that have been damaged by putrid flies, we can go ahead and focus more on crit damage if we're going to build for Soulbound Arcana. So we're going to do this right in front of you right now. Attack percentage on all 3 pieces. We're going to focus on crit damage and then crit rate, and then you don't have to really worry about anything else. You can focus on attack or rage, and it really depends on how much you want your ult to come by or come back. But the flat attack is super valuable for the inspiration. So we're just going to grab these top pieces. You can see crit damage is up here. Even if the crit rate is nice and low, not a problem. We don't have to worry about it. On the house, sure. As far as variants go, I would say going for aggression on all 3 pieces, if you have it, would be best. Here's another one. Kind of, they're all just really good. But if you have a low crit rate piece, you don't have to worry about maxing out your crit. Focus on the crit damage and flat attack. Right, Warlord on the left side. I already know I'm going to end up stealing. First priority is going to be attack. It doesn't matter what you select after that. So we're going to go with this one here from the Chen because I knew that was going to happen. And then this one here, we want, yeah, the higher one, Unstoppable Force. When deployed, increases attack by 5% as an ally with the removable object. I don't even know if that happens or not. Removable object. Anyways, attack percentage here is going to be your number one priority. Some HP bonus is also nice. And then you can see this is basically what you're going to end up with for your gear. Or you can swap this out to Wings of Grace. Wings of Grace, you can be looking for the same kind of stuff. So let's just kind of peek here. Attack percentage. We're obviously not going to have the most ideal setup here. So the gear is going to be weird. So we have one here, attack percentage with flat attack. That's perfect. Some rage regen is perfect. Crit damage is on there. That's perfect because we can guarantee crit hits, right? With the Carrion's Call. And then you can have some attack speed on there would be even better. Those kind of pieces are going to be rare. So it's going to be hard to find pieces with crit damage in Wings of Grace set. You could go with a crit rate to help it out a little bit more when he's not doing damage with putrid flies. But here we go. We'll just use this piece from Liao Qian. And then we will use this one here. So attack speed, flat attack, rage regen, HP bonus. So I got a little bit of crit damage. I got the attack really nice and high. You could focus more on crit rate, crit damage on the left pieces, but I think we're pretty good there. Let's go to the total attributes. So you see we're at 13k. So when the inspiration is applied to the allies, they're going to be able to get themselves like a 6.5k attack boost. That is what this is all about. And plus the control. So we have a 47% crit rate, so we are doing a little bit of critting here and there. 236.5% crit damage, nothing too crazy. Rage regen is at 52%. It's actually pretty decent for a Beelzebub build. And if you want to bring up that vulnerability, like I said, you awaken it to level 1 would be nice. The awaken level 3 is going to give you more rage, but you can kind of build that in with your gear, so it's not really that worth chasing. The cost being nice for arena. Other than that, it's not going to really help you much. And then we have more damage coming into A5. Of course, having all the awakenings is going to be nice, but the one you really want to shoot for is going to be this vulnerability, because this is going to help bring out the defenses of those enemies. Now I'm going to show you a few examples of how he works. I think there's plenty of videos out there that do show him in actual stages. So I'm just going to bring him into a Gear Raid 1 team, and I'll set that up, and I'll be right back in just a moment. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I have a well set up team here, and you're gonna see something weird. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and pull Anora off the field. I'm gonna use these 5 heroes. So we have our Lord here. This is the Cultist Lord. And if you go over to the skills and we check out that Lord skill, increases faction team members' attributes. That's good, an extra 15% attack. Increases faction team members' damage dealt to enemies inflicted with the slow, stun, freeze, immobilize state, and other CC effects by 30%. There is an extra 30% right there. Increases faction team members' damage by 25%. Okay, just off of anywhere, just random. When the Lord is on the battlefield and an allied summon dies, increases all faction team members' damage by an additional 5% for 15 seconds. Stacking up to 3 times, so you get extra 15% there. So we're looking at 30, 40, 55, an extra 15 is going to bring it up to 70% as well when an enemy or ally summon dies. Now, we're not really taking care or taking advantage of that last chunk there very much with this team comp because a lot of them are going to just end up dying too often, except for Beatrix's, I suppose. We do have power dominance off. Let's go ahead and just start this fight, and you're going to see this is just a breeze with these guys. It is a breeze. Unbelievable how easy this actually is with the Cultist faction, how powerful they are. In the Gear Raid 1, 22, 23, 24 stages, you have to bring a little bit more, of course, but this is 21 with no POD, and Ezerith is actually just quick equipped, and I think Beatrix is just quick equipped as well. So the only one that's really has a special build here going on is going to be Beelzebub. But Test Server has pretty good gear, but it still tends to put them in Aegis Wrath, so they're not taking advantage of Soulbound Arcana. I suppose a Cataclysm set, if you're going for damage, would work well with that, with Beelzebub as well. But right now, we're not shooting for that. So first off, we're going to start out with Beatrix, and we're going to put out Beelzebub. Easy peasy. Put it on 2x so we can get these guys rolling. And then we're going to go ahead and put down our Artemis as well. Actually, want to stick it closer. Beatrix or Beelzebub shouldn't need the help. I'm going to put him down here facing left. And as soon as Beelzebub is ready, I'm going to activate him and activate Beatrix as well. Start doing some damage on the enemies up here. See, her summons are coming out. She's doing a bunch of damage. He's pulling them into this vortex over here. That's going to be increasing their damage. We're going to go ahead and place down Ezerith. Switch him. We'll just keep him like this for now. Let him do some damage and help out with this first wave. See, Beatrix did enough damage all on her own. Didn't have to worry about it. I'm going to switch Ezerith back now. You can see Beatrix does tend to hit the boss from the side here. So yeah, you're going to see he's probably going to get taken out. And we're not going to even need Artemis after a while. I'm going to put it back on 2x to get these next group of enemies coming around the corner. And now we're just kind of playing a waiting game. We can go ahead and activate them now. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna wait for Beelzebub to come back. This is why that Rage Regen can be helpful. He'd be ready a little bit earlier. Go ahead and activate him. Get Beatrix out. Keep Ezerith that way for a while so you can suck up some of those summons. And it looks like he's gonna just stay that way for now. So we'll just keep him there. Not a problem. Not a problem. Forsaken Totem is coming. We're gonna have to activate that anti-heal. And we'll go ahead and activate Beatrix again and swap Ezerith over. And then we're going to hit Beelzebub. You can see that nice vortex is going to come in there. That vortex stops the enemies from hitting the wall. That's something you got to keep in mind as well. We're going to switch Ezerith back. We didn't actually manage to take out the boss, which is actually pretty hard without power dominance on, so it kind of makes sense. If you run into issues, you can go ahead and use your Eloin or a healer on the side here. That's what I have her there for. Alright, gonna go ahead and wait. Activate Beelzebub, Beatrix. Keep Ezerith where he's at. Let him get some summons kind of coming in. Alright. Easy. Beatrix is up here doing a bunch of damage. It's more of a Beatrix show than anything. Alright, so we have 4 stacks, but we're gonna wait a little bit until these enemies are actually causing a problem. Alright, so go ahead and activate Beelzebub. Get that vortex going, activate Beatrix. And then we're gonna go switch this guy over here. Once he hits 5 stacks, we'll switch him over and he should finish up the fight. You're gonna activate everybody if you want at this point. Just let him finish it up. Now, I had some other units on this team and I don't think you'd even need the Artemis. I think you can get by without the anti-heal on stage 21. So 22, 23, 24, you're gonna need anti-heal. Very reliable anti-heal. But you can see I broke records with this team. Has a lot to do with Beatrix. But if you have Elise, that's another good option. Even better option, to be honest with you. Elise will just rip those targets apart. But yes, Beelzebub is amazing. And this is kind of just a little showcase. I want to go over the gear. I want to show you him in play and show you how he pulls his enemies around. One more time, I want to go to stage 18. And just to show you how that vortex works a little bit closer, okay? I want to bring that into here and so you can see it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring, actually we're going to put him right here facing forward. All right, I'm going to put Eloin down here just to get that rage going a little bit better. I can see this vortex is going to go. I'm going to put on 1X, activate. Here it comes. Give it a second. Come on, summons the flies. There's the flies coming out. They're going to the target. And I hit the target and here comes that vortex. They start to spin. They're pulling all of the enemies into that vortex. You see they can't really get away. And once they get into that far, even close to it, it's pulling them in. They're really screwed. So the flies will keep following it around. Rest of the ultimate. And attacking basically. That little vortex is kind of all you get. You get that little bit of time range. It's not the whole thing. But yes, it's pretty amazing what it does. And all of these targets here are being hit by the flies. And that is making it so Beelzebub has a guaranteed crit hit. Can he solo this? Let's try it quickly. Let's try it one more thing quickly here. Just put down Eloin. Put him in 2x. So put on auto. And then watch it play. Pretty much, I think he's going to be able to just handle it. Like, it's not really a big problem. I'm not sure. He is in a Wings of Grace set. He's not really built for a ton of damage in this set. But you can see how he's doing some damage. 11k, 13k. And I think that, yeah, I don't think it's going to really happen that he's soloing this throughout the whole range. He might. If you put him in Solo Arcana, he's probably going to take care of that without much issue. But anyways, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let's get out of here. All right, but anyways, guys, that's all I have to really say about Beelzebub. Amazing. Get that A1. It's gonna be a big boost. Do you need it? Not really. A0, you're gonna be pretty happy with it. A1's gonna help you with that stage 23, 24, and help you in Zerbus a little bit more. It's an extra 10% vulnerability. The Regigen will help you cycle a little bit more on an A3. On the A5, you really want to build extra damage out of him? Go for it. Go for the A5. But anyways, just a quick shout out to Smile1. If you wouldn't mind using my exclusive link over here at smile1.prospector.gg, you head to the main site. If you don't want to type it in, you can just go ahead and click that. I also have it down in the description as well. I get a 5% kickback from Moonton if you guys do decide to spend when trying to go after this hero. Also, don't forget to check out prospector.gg. Get signed up. We have a roster builder. We have all kinds of things, takeovers, tools, artifacts, gear sets, hero guides, forums. Everything is on there. We have the forum page, our homepage right there. You can see special news is always going to be on there, as well as latest videos and latest guides, all kinds of good stuff. We also have the Discord if you want to check that out. It's home of the Prospector bot, which is going to be able to allow you to type in the hero's name and then request a build, and it'll punch that build out to you right through Discord. But anyways, that's all I have for today's video. I hope fun and helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate the views, appreciate the comments. I've been the Prospector. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep digging.